How are you guys doing? Welcome back once again. So today I'm gonna spend the better of 30 minutes per an hour, perhaps 30 minutes to an hour roughly, and have a good chat with you guys while we have some good music playing in the background. All the music that you'll hear is available on the channel. It's on the main homepage. This is the channel album. Show you support. If not here on the channel, you can go and support it on Amazon Music. It should be on other platform as well. I will put that up from time to time, but it should be available as well. I'm gonna be answering a few questions that I may come across as well. Wake up, rise up, it's a brand new day. Got a mind full of wonder, gonna learn our way. Knowledge nuggets dropping, yeah, we're leveling up. All right, so while the music is playing, I'd like to see if I can pull up just a few music here. Not a few music, a few questions here. See if I can get those. All right, let's see if we can get a few questions here. Also, if you have questions, put them in the chat. But I'm just gonna be reading off some random questions that I've received. All right, let's see if we could find some good questions here. Life hacks, ready when the day gets tough. Motivation in your pocket when you're had enough. Mindfulness and wellness keep the peace inside. We're a family of dreamers on this joyful ride. Step in, tune in, let your spirit glow. We're learning, we're laughing, we're ready to grow. Hit that bell, come along, we got ideas. All right, here we got one here. This is a good one too. So I think I will go ahead and answer to this one here. This is a good one. All right, so this one is why is growth painful. So growth is painful because you have to make changes to parts and places of your life that you don't really want to. So it's changing things that uh, you have been used to for so long, and then now you've get to the point either where you've plateaued, or in order for you to gain a different certain or level of understanding or even success, if you consider it that, you will have to grow. And so sometimes that can be painful because wanting to hold on to what you know or what you're used to um, is usually the first response that we go to as individual. Because mostly you want to go back to what you know, what seems comfortable, what seems safe. So growth in that sense can be painful. It's like going into the gym. This happens to me uh, every now and again when I have times that I go into the gym and I'll train. Well, not train, I'll work out because I don't really have a training schedule that I'm going to. That would be a little bit more rigorous for me to do. I don't have that currently, but from time to time, I may have a consistent base where I go to the gym. I'll do a lot of calisthenics, or I'll just work out, not necessarily lifting heavy weights or trying to build a certain amount of muscle, but I will do some workout. But what you'll tend to find is that when you take the break away from that, and you eventually get back to doing it, your muscles are no longer in the form or the shape that it should be. So it starts to hurt, it starts to burn, and you won't get used to it not until you work past those pain, which will, it doesn't matter which level of um, athletic abilities that you are, at some point you are gonna plateau, and in order to get beyond that, you have to practice and you have to work through that. So that aspect of the growth can be painful, uh, because muscles that you haven't been using in the gym, you'll find that when you're now working through those muscles, it's gonna be hurtful because those muscles are growing and they are now being active and working. So growth in that sense can be painful, and I think it's something that you that you should understand is nothing that you have to be like be afraid of. Especially growth is not really pertaining to one thing in particular. Growth really is just about anything, even in reading or learning something. You'll find yourself reading, and if you haven't been reading on a consistent basis, or if you're not a person that read as often, you'll find that whenever you start reading again, you'll come to the point of where you want to like fall asleep, or you don't want to read as much. You're easily getting distracted. So in order to grow beyond that, you have to work that muscle just a little bit, and so that also comes in handy as well. So that's another example. But growth, I have a little um, the a little writing here pertaining to the question. So growth is pain, and here's why: because you have to learn to use the abilities that are dormant within you. For instance, like being able to only use one side of your body, knowing that that is an handicap. But what we've been taught is that the growth, natural, most people are either right-handed or left-handed, but that is an handicap. I consider it to be an handicap. You should be able to use both sides of your body, right and left. But because of the way we've been conditioned to operate within our environments and society, that's just the way things have been going on uh, for generations. We're handicapped because we consider it to be just right-handed or left-handed a thing, when we should be able to use both. It's just like using the right or the left side of the brain. So that is another example of, well, let me know if that answered that question. But apart from that, let's get the music back going. And then, after this one or one of the other music plays, then I'll get back into another one once again. What's your frequency? Perfect for inspiring in awareness, intention, and positive energy. Yeah. All right. Wake up every morning. Let's take a look at one of these other questions. Move with intention, let your spirit ignite. All right, what else do you have here? Let's take a look at one of the other ones. Every thought, every action, make your purpose near. Don't let the noise pull you off your path. Stay aligned with your frequency, do the math. Energy attracts what you send to the world. Raise your vibration, let your soul unfurl. Watch your frequency, tune into your light. Move with your purpose, let your spirit shine bright. Protect your peace, rise above, stay true. The world needs your energy, your frequency too. Let's take a look at another one. Your intuition's compass is your guide. Elevated awareness, intention and flow. That's how you live life. Let your greatness show. Focus on your man, this is This is a good question here. I'll take a second to read it, and then I'll try to get into it. All right. So one of the issues in relationships today is that it has been tokenized, and tokenized. I'll explain that a little bit. So instead of honesty and transparency and being accountable, good deeds are rewarded with, well, not good deeds. So the bad deeds, the bad or the good deeds are rewarded with gifts or sexual favor of some sort, while overlooking the bad behavior. So yeah, you often see that in a lot of relationships today, friendships too, where where a friend may do something, and instead of being accountable and responsible, they would either be one person overlooking the fact that some boundaries have been crossed, or that person did the wrong thing, which the other person do not like, and it happens in a relationship more often than in relationships more often than friendships too. Wherein and it happens a lot with females as well, where that person may do something wrong, and instead of that, they'll try to seduce the other person to get past the bad behavior that they did, either with some kind of a sexual favor or a reward. And the the overall issue of why the problem arises have been overlooked due to that. And I think that is something that really eats away at the foundation of any friendship or relationship, without both individuals really knowing. And usually it's when it reaches to the point that it develops into something else. So going back to the original question of what is asked here, is that the friendships and relationship being tokenized, uh, that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because you create some sort of a reward system in a right and wrong way. Oftentimes, when either the male or the female do something outside of or against that friendship or relationship, one in the attempt to trying to not upset the other person or trying to preserve what is assumed to be a good thing, one individual or the other, or both individual at times, may try to overlook what was done just to not upset that person, or they're trying to hold on to something, or they're trying to get into something, so they may overlook that. And if it becomes tokenized, then the base of the relationship, or the foundation of the friendship, may eventually crumbles, because if you fail to look at the small and simple things, rather than tokenizing the individual, trying to overlook that, then an issue might grow from there. So that's one way of looking at that. Obviously, there is more than one way, but that's an example of how friendships and relationships are now being tokenized, and without each individual being accountable and being responsible, that can develop into something else, and destroy that friendship or the relationship. All right, let's see what else we have here. All right, let's look at another question. Okay, so this is a good question. Let me reread it again and then see if I can answer it, and perhaps give some kind of example. As a matter of fact, I'll just let the music play a little bit and then I get into the question, perhaps. Real strength is inside, and it starts with you. Actually, so this question is asking why do people overcompensate when others don't approve of their like self inner work, or if they're or if they tend to make changes or want to make changes to their life. So the question is, why do some people overcompensate when others don't approve of their self inner work, are just trying to overall uh, uh, apply good things to their life, trying to make changes to better themselves. Why do people some people overcompensate? Okay. So coming from my perspective, a lot of people will overcompensate because they want to be included. A lot of people don't want to be shunned. They want to go with what's trending and what's popular, and that's just simply looking at things. Just about anybody can look at that from a general aspect. Most people want to be included. They don't want to be left out, and a lot of people can't deal with the fact that they are not going to be included if they don't act, or if they don't pretend to be a certain way. So a lot of people will overcompensate, whether it's try to look a certain way, be a certain way, to dress a certain way, or to present themselves a certain way, even when it does not resonate with who they are at the core of who they are. And we see that a lot in today's society, and oftentimes it's peer pressure. You see that a lot in like work or school environment, where one person might be different, or a few different of the individuals. They may not have the same characteristics, but they're not necessarily negative or bad people, but they tend to have different characteristics. But because of inclusion, or not wanting to be excluded, they may overcompensate and try to prove to others, because of the peer pressure, that they are this way or that way, because they want to be included. And so that's an example that I can give of that. But a good takeaway is that whenever you are in that situation, if it's not always a wrong or right thing, but it always comes back to the individual or you as a person, that if you find yourself overcompensating just to be included or just to fit in, because you're not accepted based on the growth or the inner work that you're trying to do, then you need to go back to the fact of why you started doing that, or what the growth is all about. And is being included worth throwing away the growth that you have been working towards, or it could even be your core values, or something, your characteristics or your attribute. Is it worth trying to overcompensate just to fit in or be included? So this is something to ask yourself whenever you consider, or if you're in this kind of a situation. A lot of the times, it I can say probably 50% or even more, that it it's probably not, won't be worth it. For the instant gratification, it can be a lot of fun, but for the long term, it might not. And so the takeaway is that if you have to overcompensate or to overstretch yourself because you're not accepted or included, because you are growing, or you are developing some kind of a good characteristics, then you need to consider why is it that you have this kind of characteristics, or why you started to working towards what you're working towards in the first place, and why is it that you want to be included or not be included. So that is a good way to look at that at a general aspect. Of course, you can always go down to all the specifics, but then that will come to you as the individual. But from a general aspect, anyone can look at and anyone can look at the situation based on a question that is asked here and approach it from a general aspect and make good decision based on what is it that they want. All right, let's continue this music and read the next question. You got courage, kindness, truth deep inside, a compass in your heart that you don't have to hide. When the world gets loud, let your values shine through. The coolest thing ever is staying true to you. All that's happened, a moral compass is cool. Honesty and purpose, that's your superpower fuel. Be brave, be strong, let your character. All right, this is a good one. Let me take a minute to read this question before I can actually respond to it. So some good questions here. Let me just take a minute to read this and then get back to it. Also, just let the music play a little bit first. But I want to read into these questions before I respond and answer. All right, good question. Really good question here. All right, let's see. All right, so good questions. When you start to become renewed due to the self inner work, how do you how how do you navigate that, and what are some of the things that happens? So the self inner work is simply you taking the active self accountability and being responsible for your the way you think, the way you act, and even what you've been taught prior to you being conscious about who you are as an individual. So the way I can really respond to that generally is that when you take on the self inner work so as to be accountable for who you are as a unique individual, then things may change. Your the way you think may change. Your environment based on your thought patterns, simply because the way you're used to thinking may change based on the evolution of your consciousness due to you tearing away things that you no longer resonate with, or things that no longer resonate with you anymore. So that'll change, and that often change a lot. So your the things that you're into may change, the people that you talk to may change, the environment may change, and it may all seem foreign because this is not what you're used to, right? And it's uncharted territory. So you will find that you have gifts that will at first may seems like a burden, but you will eventually come to understand that it's a guidance system that have solutions for your greater good, but also understand that your familiar world and surroundings may shift due to the evolution of your consciousness. So oftentimes, a lot of people don't really understand when they they are trying to grow and make changes in their life, but due to the evolution of their thought patterns, they may get thrown off because they really don't understand what is happening. Your thought patterns change, and all of a sudden, you're not into the same things that you were into before, or Even if those remain, you are now being open to different understanding or even a wider perspective. So it's like if you were only taught a certain way, or you only grew up in a certain environment, and then you travel or you're being exposed to other things, all of a sudden your perspective on the way you see things or the way you think about things all of a sudden becomes open. So that also happens too. Now this is on a general aspect. Now for me to be able to give you a more direct answer, then I would have to relate that directly to each individual, which may comes out differently, because not everyone will arrive at that crossroad the same way, and not everyone will arrive at that crossroad the same way. So, given the answer in a general aspect is a good starting point. All right, let's get this music back going. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So far, we are what 20 something minutes in. We'll do just about an hour, but we'll do a few more questions here. Let's see what else we have. All right. So this is a really good question. Let me just reread it over. Also, let the music play a little bit, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. Wake up every morning, take a look inside. Who are you becoming? Who's walking by your side? Life's full of choices. All right, so this is a good one. So the question says, is loyalty nothing without truth? So that can be pertaining to a lot of things in a general aspect. So loyalty without truth, from a general perspective, I can say loyalty is a good attribute to have. However, that it depends upon what you are heading that to. And I give it in a general aspect. You can obviously get and apply to your personal life or your personal understanding, but loyalty is a good attribute to have. But loyalty to what, and what is it that you're heading it to, right? So the question is, loyalty is nothing without truth. Well, let's put this in terms of friendship or relationship, or you're working for an organization or something. So, in simple terms, something that everyone can relate to is friendship. In a friendship, we all know and understand that loyalty to your friends or the friendship that you have, it's a good thing. That's a good attribute. However, whenever you're gonna be loyal, you have to understand that is that being accompanied with the truth. It makes no sense being loyal to a lie or loyal to a fault. So, referring back to the question and applying this in a simple and general aspect, it is that loyalty is nothing without truth. So if you're being loyal to a friendship, a relationship, or even an organization or a cause, and there is no truth involved, then there are certain things that you must understand. Is that either you're unknowingly going down the wrong path, and there is something that you need to do about that. You need to come to a point where you need to know. There's no wondering what if. No, in today's day and age, you can't leave that up to what if. Um, if you're gonna be loyal to something, then you need to be in the know. You need to know what's going on. If you're in a friendship or relationship, you can't be loyal and be wondering. It's like, okay, you can't be loyal to a person if you're in a friendship or relationship, and yet there are still blind spots of where you're wondering what if or what. No, referring back to the question here, loyalty is nothing without truth. So truth and loyalty in that sense would go hand in hand. It makes no sense you're gonna be loyal to a friend and there's no truth in there. See what I'm saying? So a lot of the time people tend to get that mixed construed because it may be someone that they have known for a certain period of time, or it could even be family members that you've known for a certain period of time, and because you have this attribute, this loyal attribute, that is a good attribute to have. However, you have to accompany that with truth based on what is it that you want. And that is simply putting this in a general aspect. It can be applied to anything. You can't be loyal to a friendship where there's no truth involved, or you are not in the know of knowing what's going on. When it comes to a relationship, the same thing applies as well. It makes no sense you're gonna be loyal to a person when when you don't really know what is going on, or you're not in the know. There is not a there's not a mutual foundation of mutual understanding of what is going on. The same thing, it makes no sense you're going to be loyal to an organization. It could be an organization that has your belief or something. You need to be in the know. You know, first time a lot of people, they used to just go to church or they go to their mosque or their belief system, and no one tend to ask question because they'll take it as is because the hell say so, or because this been going on for generations and millennia and no one wants a question. I was like, okay, if you're gonna be given the better part of yourself, which are concerning your attributes and characteristics, and basing back to this question is that if you're gonna be given all your loyalty, make sure it is something that uh, you, you're actively knowing of. You can't give your loyalty to something that you're not in alignment with. A lot of people unknowingly give their loyalty to a lot of things, and they eventually turn out regretting that they they give that better part of them that they probably shouldn't have, or they probably should have questioned things to know so they could make a better informed decision. So in a general aspect, I think anyone can take something from this question, wherein loyalty is nothing without truth. If you're gonna be loyal, then you need to know the truth of what is it that you're being loyal to. And I understand that in some aspect where if you're into some kind of a friendship relationship or organization or whatever it is, the the opposite party may not be as transparent and forthcoming as you are, but it is up to you as an individual to really be observant or to try to understand and know as much as you can to make an informed decision. Because while you may have all those good attributes, not everyone else will represent themselves properly with that. They may have a facade or they may say that, but then there are ways that you can understand and know that this is not what they are at the core of who they are. So, loyalty is nothing without truth. It depends on what you're into, but for the most part, I would say yes. You need to understand what is it that you're being loyal to. A lot of people may, because they have good attributes and characteristics, may not know that the other people or the organization or might maybe lying to them. And a lot of people lie, know that they're lying, and some even lie not knowing that they're lying because this is what they've been told, this is what they've been taught, and they don't want to question it. That is not a way to go about living your life. So, in a general aspect, of course, there a vast amount of knowledge that can be expounded upon this question, wherein loyalty is nothing without truth is concerned. But in a general aspect, anyone should be able to take from this at least an understanding that if you're going to be are given the better part of where your loyalty is concerned, you need to be in the know, or you need to have an understanding of what is it that you're being loyal to, or who you're being loyal to. And if that is what you require, or it's not being presented to you, then at least you can make an informed decision from there. So I hope I understand. I hope I give a good response to you guys' this question pertaining to that. At least that's in a general aspect. But I hope I answer your guys' question. Let's get back to the music, and then I'll answer a few more questions. All right, let's keep going. Voices everywhere. Some push you higher, some keep you stuck right there. Hey. Your dreams need protecting, your heart needs truth. So guard your spirit like a treasure, only meant for you. Every friend, every vibe, every word. Oh, these are some good questions. Shapes your journey, shapes your strength, shapes the place you begin. Who are you, and who's in your circle tonight? Are they lifting up your dreams, are they feeding your life? Stay true to your purpose, keep your vision inside. All right, let's get into the next question, shall we? All right, so this other question here, this is a good question for sure. So how do you detect authentic guidance rather than deception? That is a good question. And just answering this simply, and giving coming from a general point of view, because I want to be as general about this. So when you're understanding the question and the answer, you can you can be able to personalize this at least with a general understanding. So this is a good question. How to detect authentic guidance rather than deception. All right, so there are some basic things that you can look for. First of all, transparency. If you can be presented with the transparency, and transparency also goes hand in hand with a lot of different things, but you also have to understand what is it that you need. You need what's in being questioned to be transparent about. So that is one thing there. You need transparency to be able to detect what is an authentic guidance. Because if you don't know, then how are you going to know what or how to look for, right? So transparency is one, and then you're also going to need honesty, and these are obviously basic attributes. So if you're a person that understand that core values, characteristics, and the having good attributes matters, then you can always reference back to that. So these are some of the core things that you're listening to, are that you're looking for on a general aspect. Now you can always personalize this, right? And gear it towards your situation or whatever it is. But in a general aspect, those are some of the basic things that you're looking for. And if those can be presented to you, then you need to ask a question that will give you some sort of an answer, some sort of a clarity. All right, let's get back into the music. All right, we're at the 40-minute mark. Let's go a few more minutes, a few more questions. Uh, these are some good questions for sure. All right. All right. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. All right. Here's a good one. So a lot of people also get they often get things like these confused, and I can understand because most people go or act according to what they know and what they have been taught. And while I understand that, it is also each and every individual human being responsibility to be able to be accountable and be responsible for yourself in terms of the way you act and what you know. I understand when you're growing up, you're being taught by those who governs over you, so you don't have much choice there. But at the point of where you reach the uh, the sovereign aspect of where you are now an adult, you are now expect to be responsible and accountable for yourself, in every aspect. And so, pertaining to this question, so for everyone that is confused, every and anyone can't be your friend. That's something that you just have to understand. Not everyone have the same characteristics and attributes, so every and anyone can be your friend, and you can't be friends with every and anyone. People are into different things, and that's just a general understanding of the way things are. So you have to find people that you resonate with. People are into the same thing that you were into. Oftentimes, people that think that they know you or they grew up with you or they're more familiar, they think that uh, you are obligated to have conversation with them, be around them, or to be friends with them, or whatever it may be. But there's no such things. What it comes back down to is, are they having the same attributes and characteristics as you? Are they the same kind of individual that you are? That's what it comes down to. And so you can't put uh, familiarity over the fact that, or despite the fact that whether they are a good person or not a good person, you have to put that into perspective first and put what is it that you want into perspective over the familiarity. A lot of people will become uh, earth in one way or the other because they think that you should be having conversation with them on a daily basis, or you should be around them for one reason or the other, because either they think that they know you or they're familiar with you, and that you should always uh, be doing according to what they want you to do. But no such thing. They can do that based on their life, but when it comes to each individual, it is your responsibility to live according to what is it that you're into, and so you can get the best out of life and out of what you want. You can have constant association and communication with people that live opposite to how you live. You can hang out with, or you just can be friends or in a relationship with people that don't reflect the sort of a lifestyle that you have. So if you have to understand that first and foremost, it doesn't matter what they want to accept or what they think. It all comes back down to you as an individual. And for a lot of us, it may take some time for you to accept that, because you may not want to hurt someone else's feeling, or you may try as much to help the other party, but it comes back down to whether you're accepting of other things or not. What is it that you want? Because oftentimes you have to let other people be accountable and be responsible for themselves. So things can become better in their life the same way that you are, or you have put in the work to make your life better. All right. We'll answer one or two more questions, and then I'll close out from there. All right, let's see what else we have here. Hey there, superstar. Don't you know what's true? There's nobody on the planet who's just like you. Your laugh, your style, your bright imagination. All of it's a treasure. All right, so this is a good question, honestly. All right, let's take a look at it. Yeah, this is a good question here. All right. All right, so this is a good one here. I'll go ahead and read this one out. And I'll read this one because in a general aspect, this is something that applies to each and every. It doesn't matter what environment you grew up in, but this is something that everyone can relate to. And so the question is why you should always question yourself due to the fact that uh, everything that you know have been taught to you by the system and the societies and the environment that you live and grew up in. I mean, in so many ways, you are to first question yourself and then question what is it that you know, right? Because I think a lot of us we really don't, because we just go according to what we've been taught based on the way we grew up, the school, the jobs. We just really go according to that, and it's not until you reach a certain point before you start to question that, right? And while there is not much wrong with what you've been taught, but also when you reach to a certain point, you understand there is a lot wrong with what you've been taught because it may not all be truth or the ultimate truth. So especially when it comes to your beliefs or your friendships and relationship, you always want to take those into great consideration because that affects your personal life and the outcome of the entirety of what you want in your life. So that is something that you should always take into consideration or question yourself first. And due to the fact that each and every individual is unique, so it's not gonna go the same for everyone else. So you first have to align that with who you are as an individual. What are some of the things that you hold dear and true to you, and then you align that with what you've been taught and what you know. And if it no longer aligns or you start to see things differently, then you need to research or you need to observe what is it that no longer aligns with your true happiness, and then you need to start make the changes from there. I think everyone this is in a general aspect. Some people they've been taught to live a certain way or to do a certain thing based on their elders or their friends or their environment. And after a while, you grow to a certain age and you understand that I'm no longer into that because, as a matter of fact, in the first place, I wasn't even into that. It's because my elders taught me this or my surroundings taught me this, and they were into that. It was popularity, it was trending, and I just happened to go go along with it because it was easier. You want to be included and you didn't want to be excluded. You didn't want anyone to feel bad. You didn't want to make a choice or go against what everyone else was expecting you to do. But what you also have to understand is that as an individual, it is your individual life as a sovereign being, and you have to be responsible and independently accountable for the outcome of your life. So this is a good question. Obviously, I there's much more I could expound upon, but given a general response to your questions, this was a good questions, and I like the questions. You guys can send your questions in through through either the live videos, the comments in the community sections, or in through the emails and stuff that is on the channel. But send your questions in whenever there is a live like this, so I could respond to your question, give my perspective on it. These are some good questions, and I think all of the questions like this should be talked about, at least to have conversation. Maybe not on a day-to-day basis, but at least conversations like this should be had, because I think it affects everyone's life. We'll get back into the music, and then we'll close out from there. But much appreciation from all you guys. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and close this session out. We did what, over 50 minutes, almost an hour. Great questions. Send your questions in whenever you guys have questions through email or through the community post, or just leave a question on any one of my videos. But good questions. I like answering your questions. I'll let the music go for just a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think of the music. All the music you hear here they're available on Amazon Music, different platforms as well. I'll put that up at a later point on time. Also, they're also available on my channel homepage. So go to the homepage. The first playlist that you will see have the channel album. That is all those music that you hear that are playing are available on the channel album. So let me know what you guys think of those.